Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we will be talking about how you can submit a proposal to the government. We will start by walking through some basics that you must know, and then I will walk you step by step on how you can submit a proposal. Before we start, please don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Let's proceed. So at the very beginning, I want to start with some essentials that you must always think about when you are submitting a proposal to the government. It is as easy and as hard as follow the instructions exactly. It is a very easy concept, but as you may know, there are a lot of details and a lot of instructions that you have to think about. Some common mistakes that I normally see is that people don't actually pay attention to the evaluation criteria and they don't pay attention to the due date and time. So minor mistakes that will lose you a bid. The second point, which is very important to think about, because we have a lot of paperwork, we have a lot of instructions, we want to make the life of the contracting officer as easy as possible. So try to structure your response in the same format that the contracting officer is expecting to make his or her life a bit easier, so that the contracting officer will have an easier time finding the requirements and finding the requested pieces of information. Before we can dive deeper into how you will submit a bid, I'll walk you through the process and I'll walk you through what to expect. So first, you should of course find a contract or an opportunity that you are interested in. In this video, we'll focus on SAM.gov. Second, we have the cover page, which is the first page in your response. Then we'll have to think about our pricing. Fourth, if you have any questions, it is always important to submit any questions. In order to give an exact response with exact prices, you must understand the details. So you should ask questions. 5, look out for any amendments. It is very important to know that there are amendments, and in most cases you will have to acknowledge that you have taken information of the new amendments. And then we have reps and certs, and finally submitting the proposal. So in order to proceed, let's take an opportunity. I found this landscaping opportunity on SAM.gov, and a very common misconception that I want to start with is that some people think that you submit the opportunity on SAM.gov. In reality, you just follow the instructions. The instructions in the solicitation will explain how you should submit the details. So we have the normal details: notice ID, related notice, and so on, classifications, descriptions. And here we come to the important part where we have all of the attachments and links. So what we are supposed to do is we have to download the solicitation and read through all of the important details. And if we have any questions, we have our primary point of contact that we can ask questions to. So to make this process a lot easier, I will be using SAM Search. Here I can see the same opportunity on SAM Search. What is very special about SAM Search is that we don't actually have to download all of the PDFs to look through all of the details. We can easily click on Ask SAM Search AI, and SAM Search AI will analyze all of these attachments and answer all of our questions. So we can start with the first question. So I started with a simple question about the cover page, because if you guys remembered, it was the first thing to think about in our response. So SAM Search AI will walk us through the details that we have to think about when submitting the cover page for this opportunity. So here we see, first submitting your cover page in response to this solicitations. Here is what you need to do. The proposal cover page should be marked with a legend if your proposal contains trade secrets or confidential information and financial information. So SAM Search AI will help us understand what we need to do in order to submit our cover page in response to this solicitation. So SAM Search AI is literally going through all of the information and all of these attachments in order to do this for us. So here we have the exact details of what we need to do. Here at the end, we have a summary. We have to mark our cover page with a confidentiality legend if applicable. Mark all relevant pages in the proposal with the page-specific confidentiality legend. Include the cover page and all documents required. Submit by email to the contracting officer. And here we get also the email of the contracting officer. We see here that we have no additional unique government form are specified for the cover page, but we have a standard RFQ form and attachments that we have to complete and submit. So now that we know how our cover page should look like and what details that we need to have, the next question that we have to think about is regarding pricing. How should I submit my pricing? And here we see that SAM Search AI outlines all of the attachments that you have to fill and how we are supposed to fill them also. So essentially we have to complete attachment 2 and complete attachment 4 in order to do that. Next, it is very important to submit any questions that we have. So sometimes we can just email the contracting officer regarding our questions, and some other times there are some specific forms that we have to fill in order to ask our questions. So are there any question forms that I can use to submit my questions? Will be our question in order to know how we should ask our questions. Here we see immediately there are no specific question forms required to submit your questions. Instead, the solicitation instructs you to submit all questions via email to the contracting officer, which is Jennifer Garcia in this case. And we see here that we have a deadline. So all questions must be submitted by the deadline stated. So what is important to know here is that in many cases, the answers to your questions will be available in an amended solicitation. So this is a perfect segue to the next point. Look out for amendments. If you have submitted any question, the contracting officer will come back with a list of Q&As that you can look into, and you will not see who has asked the question, but you will see the answers to your questions as long as with the questions asked. So I can ask, are there any amendments to the solicitation, and has there been any Q&As? So we see that there are no amendments to the opportunity and that there are no specific question and answer documents included. And we get the instructions again on how to submit our questions. For the 6th point, we have representations and certifications. This is very intimidating at the beginning, but it is not as hard once you finish it for the first time. For many opportunities, you can use your reps and certs that you already have in SAM.gov, just download it and include it in your response. But in other cases, there are fields that you have to fill in order to fulfill all of the required information. So how should I submit my reps certs? And here we see that we submit them by completing the annual presentation on SAM.gov, and we don't have to submit any paper or separate forms for reps and certs. And finally, we come to the last part, which is just submitting the proposal. So we know now that the opportunity should be emailed to our primary contact, Jennifer Garcia, but we can ask a final question to see if we have missed any details. Here I get a complete response of what I have to think about. So the quotes must be submitted via email to the contracting officer. We have to fill our 2 attachments. As we know, we have to add a technical capability written statement addressing the performance work statement, which is very important for you when building your pricing. We have to have a staffing plan submitted with a quote, past performance information including references from similar work, unique entity identifier, representations and certifications must be completed online at SAM.gov. Mark the cover page and relevant pages with prescribed confidentiality legends. Submit quote and all attachments as a single email package. This is a really handy and easy way for us to dissect the opportunity and learn about how we can submit all the details to stay compliant and to not miss any minor detail. That was it, guys. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.